I hate this. I like to torture him.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Winnipeg Ghostbusters YouTube channel. Like always, I am Kris Rutz Rutherford, along with my co-host
Brian Beef Tycro. How y'all doing there, YouTube land? We missed you.
Well, Brian, this is officially going to be our first entry into our Media Mayhem.
Media Mayhem, mayhem.
So this episode, we're going to start off looking at, not just music, but audio in general.
Yep.
So, without further ado, let's play that funky music, Buster Boy.
Cool.
Alright, so with Media Mayhem, like I said, we're going to look at some of the soundtracks today, some of the scores. But the reason we want to look at this is really a Brian thing. Now, Brian has gone to school for music. He is in an awesome cover band in the city called Dr. Octopus. If you're ever in the city, make sure to check them out. But we're going to lean a lot on this episode with Brian's, I don't want to say your specialty, or your knowledge.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'm going to preface this episode with a lot of this is, how I feel. And, a big thing is, music makes everybody feel differently. You may love a track on one of these albums that I was like, that's okay. And you know what? Throw it in the comments. I want to talk to people about music. I love music. I love talking about it. So if you agree with any of our picks and things that we're talking about, let us know. Let's start a conversation. I love conversations. But anyways, we're going to get rolling right into 84, Ghostbusters, the original. Now, this is not only, we're collectors as well as Ghostbusters. So this is from my private collection. And, but I want to have a conversation. So I made him, I told him, I said, coming up to the episode, I was like, all right, you got to do some homework. Now, so since we're starting with 84, all right, soundtrack. What is your go-to song? Not the original Ray Parker Jr., because that's just too easy.
I definitely gotta say, "Saving the Day." That's my jam.
I think
we play it when we're doing parades and stuff,
Oh,
and
yeah.
roll down the windows like, "Come on, let's run some red lights here,"
Yeah.
Like that.
It's funny you say that, is because I was looking at all of the different versions that I had, because I saw this thing pop up yesterday or the day before, and I wasn't sure if it was legitimate or not. It was the back of the soundtrack, but in the bottom corner it said, "Warning: listening to Alessi Saving the Day will make you want to run red lights." And I was like, and I've been looking, I'm like, is this legit? And so I think somebody photoshopped it, but I mean, they're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. So yeah, Saving the Day, absolutely. For me though, Magic by Mick Smiley. But
which part of it?
No, both of them. Both of them. I don't know if he was writing two different songs, ran out of time, and was just like, put them together.
Yeah.
But I think I love them both. I love them both for different reasons. One, the last half, because how they use it in the movie.
Please.
But in the second half, I'm like, it's a great tune. It's very, very moody, very spacey. I love it.
Very metrosexual 80s kind of vibe.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean?
you're getting a lot of different different vibes from it, and I just
a little bit of a Bowie feel to it.
Yeah, I love it. So Mick, you did a great job. But I mean, they're all winners. I mean, you're watching the scene where they get kicked out of the university. You listen close in the guy's headphones that's wheeling out the orange thing. You get some air supply. I love how it's always just the orange thing. We don't actually know what it is. It's just the big old orange thing. But you know, you get some Air Supply. You get Laura Branigan's Hot Night with the Lewis party. You know, you just get little glimpses here and there, and I love the whole soundtrack. So to start with that, does anyone know what this is? That's right, my friends. It is a cassette tape. The old cassette. So this is an original 1984 beautiful cassette tape of the soundtrack. So another thing, you say, yeah, I know about big vinyl, but what about a nice 45? So why do they call it a 45? Well, it's because on your record player, you know, it's the RPMs. So 45 rotations is a single. And why am I blanking? I think it's 70. No, 33 and a third. Sorry, the big ones are 33 and a third. My goodness.
Math,
I tell you. It's a running thing in this group. But anyways, so this here is a 45. Again, 1984 45. It's got your Ray Parker Jr. and your instrumental, just in case you don't feel like listening to him sing. But I always do. Ray, sing it loud, sing it proud.
it's weird. The center part there almost looks like a toy.
So
like something would shoot an elastic.
So one of these. So this actually comes out. So these are So these are a 45 player basically, because in a jukebox, because 45s came out in jukeboxes, right? So what would do is
I actually did not know.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know.
Yeah.
This.
So that's what original jukeboxes played 45s, and so because the mechanism was so big,
Right.
That's a big Twinkie. Tell him about the Twinkie.
What about the Twinkie?
you needed a bigger hole, but you're not going to have that in your record player at home. So that's why you would buy a 45 insert, as it's called, and it just pops in, and then that way it pops in there, so it sits on your record player, and now it plays like a normal record. So that's what a 45 is. All right. Another one you may not have seen before.
This one's cool.
This is cool.
Yeah.
So this is, again, 1984 picture disc. So this is actually, as it says on the back here, taken from the forthcoming album. So this came out before the album was released. So this was a promo that they were putting out. Showed off the Ghostbusters symbol to get people talking, and then on the back, you've got the from the music video. Brian, what is that? That's your original 1984 pressing of Ghostbusters. Brian, what's that? Well, that's your original 1984 Ghostbusters pressing from Canada. That's right. I don't know why. Maybe those in the comments. We're going to be having this is an audience participation episode. We want to hear a lot from you, but there's different Japanese recordings, there's different releases and all that stuff, and they're all different. Everything looks different. I mean, you look at the back, right? Regular one, everything's on the bottom. Regular, that's what we know. And then you get the Canadian one. You've got the stuff on the top, and then you have an extra terror dog that wasn't on the other one.
Where's that?
On the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So both from 1984. One is American, one's Canadian. All right, this one is just the re-release from 2014, the 30th anniversary. People are going to ask, what's the difference? Nothing. This is the re-release. They did it in the original American version, but this is on 180 gram vinyl. What does that mean, Brian? Well, that means there's a thing going around for audiophiles, which are people who really, really take music seriously. I'm a mini audiophile, I guess. I'm halfway there. Whoa, I'm living on a prayer. But 180 gram vinyl, thicker vinyl. People have said it's a warmer tone. It can endure more. So that's our soundtrack. All right? We know what we like on the soundtrack. We've talked about it. What is this? This is the score. by Elmer Bernstein. The classic 1984 Ghostbusters movie score by Elmer Bernstein himself.
Now, for those that don't know the difference between a soundtrack and a score.
That's a great idea. So the soundtrack is, the songs written for the movie, songs that were purchased for the movie or given for the movie. These are songs, proper songs. I shouldn't say proper songs. Songs.
Well, full songs.
Full songs.
Yeah.
Full songs. Whereas the score is the music behind the movie. It's the music that's driving those scenes. It's the music that, think about Ghostbusters. Think about Afterlife, because it comes up, it exactly, the piano.
Yeah, those first couple keys. And speaking of the score itself, we had the chance, because Brian had bought the the Super Edition set that came out with the movies.
Yes. Yeah.
And in there was the original 84 preview cut.
Yeah.
So there was no special effects, no score, nothing. So you really, when you watch that, and especially how many times we've seen 84, right?
Yeah.
You appreciate what a score does to a movie, because it kind of suggestively, kind of underneath, subconsciously tells you how to feel.
Yeah.
It sets the mood.
It sets the mood. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, turn down the lights, lighting some candles. It's setting the mood. So again, this is not just talking about the music, but it's also showing off really cool vinyl. Because I'm a music nerd. I love my vinyl, and so I think when they release this is just absolutely beautiful.
It's beautiful, yeah.
So this is a clear vinyl with a green slime splatter. It's on both vinyls, and I think it just looks amazing. Nothing better than seeing that spin on your record player while you're listening to it. But let's talk about the score. So you talked about setting the mood. Can you think about what in the score really stands out to you? What parts of the score stands out to you the most? What really sets the mood? How does it make you feel?
Well, a couple big ones, obviously, and Afterlife really hit home with that. We kind of talked about those first couple piano keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that, as a kid, when that hit and the Columbia logo came up, and then
but that's not how it started.
Wasn't it?
No, the original movie starts with the
what's the library? Oh yeah, because it has that weird and then
yeah.
So the library score really, in my mind, it even still the hair on the back of my neck stick up with
absolutely.
it, because that library witch or gray lady, whatever you want to call her, as a kid, she scared the hell out of me.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I had to fast forward through that part when I was
1000%.
when I was younger.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
that always gets to me and brings back that nostalgia feel. Like I love that. I mean, but there's so much in that movie. Like, Dana's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
When the terror dog's about to come out. All those really intense scenes.
It's something we'll get to when we talk about the GB2 score. But you can tell the difference between the two. I mean, of course you can. They're two different movies, but you also think about the feeling of them. Ghostbusters 1 for me is very spooky, very airy, very supernatural.
Yes.
There are those triumphant ghost-busting moments.
More of a comedy horror.
Yeah, but it lends a lot more on the horror side. It's a lot more airy is the wrong word, but like I said, it's a lot more
like the original Poltergeist.
Yeah, it's very
not gruesome, but still had the
it
fright
raised the hairs on your back of the neck.
Yeah.
But Ghostbusters 2 was very triumphant, very heroic. A lot lighter, absolutely, such as the tone of the movie is as well, but very heroic, very, you listen to, when we get to Ghostbusters 2, you listen to In Liberty's Shadow and tell me you don't want to drive Lady Liberty down Fifth Avenue. And
Do you think we could walk the Golden Boy
I would love to. Let's
down
try it
Broadway
out.
or down Portage Avenue?
It's got the Ghostbusters theme, which is not. It's the. Shoot. Well, now, of course, I'm blanking on it. You know.
Which is an Afterlife, too.
Which is an Afterlife.
Yep.
Just that's the score. It makes you feel. Makes you feel things. It makes you feel spooky. It makes you feel heroic.
All right, guys, so that wraps up for this episode. This was part 1 of our Media Mayhem on our soundtracks and scores. But next time, we're going to jump 5 years later and check out GB2.
I'm very excited.
So like always, I'm Kris Rutz Rutherford.
And I am Brian Beef Tycro. Thank you for popping by. Thanks for sticking with us. This is a little bit of a longer retrospective. You know, it's something I'm very passionate about, so I'm going to take my time. We're going to dip our toes in. We're going to get the hole right up to the knee. All right, my friends, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We love you. We'll see you later. You got the tools and the talent. We love you. See you soon.